Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we give you our top 10 football bromances part 2. 10. Dembele and Vertonghen. Belgian duo Moussa Dembele and Jan Vertonghen have known each other since they were 12 years old, when they were both coming through the academy of Germinal Berchot. Between Germinal, Spurs and the national team, they've played together on 249 occasions at the time of writing, making the centre-back Dembele's most frequent partner, though Vertonghen has played more often with Eriksen and Alderweireld. Despite their long association, the two have never won a trophy together, as Dembele won the Eredivisie title with AZ, while Vertonghen was twice a Dutch champion with Ajax, and he scored his first goal for the club against AZ, when Dembele was meant to be marking him at a corner. However, while they were in Amsterdam, they lived just 100 yards apart, and their girlfriends became friends, bringing the pair closer. Now in their 30s, Vertonghen and Dembele are two of Tottenham's longest-serving players, and their relationship off the pitch has improved their performances on it, with Spurs' second-place finish in 2017 their highest in 54 years. Not bad for two men who cost the London side only 26 million, the same as they paid for Roberto Soldado. 9. Gattuso and Pirlo. Could there be two more dissimilar footballers than Andre Pirlo and Gennaro Gattuso? One was a skillful, thoughtful playmaker nicknamed the Architect, who drifted around the field, pulling invisible strings, while the other was a no-nonsense workhorse christened the Growl, who received nearly 150 yellow cards for club and country. But together, the Italians won 2 titles, 2 Champions Leagues, and the World Cup, complementing each other perfectly. Their partnership came from an appreciation for the other's talents. Pirlo said, "When we won the World Cup in 2006, I remember thinking I would not want anybody else playing next to me. It's a cliche to say players give 100%, but he really doesn't know how to give anything but that." Meanwhile, Gattuso's opinion on his longtime friend was put in slightly blunter terms when he was asked by an interviewer whether his own play had made Pirlo better, saying, "Don't talk nonsense, let's not confuse Nutella with." Including games in a national youth setup, the two appeared alongside one another for 20 years, and Pirlo made an art of annoying his famously combustible pal. In the end, they played 328 matches together, more than either man did with any other footballer. 8. Evra and Park. One of the more surprising bonds on our list, Patrice Evra and Park Ji-sung became pals at Manchester United, where they featured 133 times together, averaging more than 2 points a game. The Frenchman and the South Korean were at the same club for 6 years and won 4 Premier League titles and the Champions League, both earning reputations as model professionals under Alex Ferguson. Evra made every effort to nurture the friendship further. Already fluent in 5 languages, French, English, Italian, Spanish and Portuguese, the left-back began learning Korean in order to communicate more easily with his teammate on the pitch, and took Park to his first nightclub. Meanwhile, Park's dad would drive the pair to the airport before they left for away fixtures, and Evra began calling him Papa. Fortunately, it wasn't as weird as it sounds, with the now West Ham defender becoming an honorary member of the Park family during United's tour of Asia in 2007. And it seems that the friendship between the men has never disappeared, as in 2018, Evra attended the funeral of Park's mother, writing a eulogy for her on Instagram. 7. Dzeko and Kolarov. Though Dzeko was born in Bosnia and Alexander Kolarov was born in Serbia, the two grew up in cities just 300 kilometers apart, shorter than the distance between London and Liverpool. They met playing for Manchester City in 2011, where Dzeko arriving in the north of England 6 months after the left-back. They cost the citizens a combined 43 million, then an astronomical figure, and delivered a title in their first full campaign together. Another one came in 2013-14. And after, Dzeko moved to Roma in 2016. Kolarov followed him, with the Bosnian recommending his former teammate to incoming director of football, Monchi. They have now made over 150 joint appearances, and in the 2017-18 season, Kolarov assisted Dzeko 4 times in the league, making their partnership the 3rd most prolific in the division. And they got together to watch Manchester United lose to West Brom in April 2018, guaranteeing that their old side City would lift the Premier League trophy for a 3rd time. 6. Lukaku and Bolasie. Though only Bolasie plays for the Democratic Republic of Congo now, both he and Romelu Lukaku come from Congolese football royalty, with their fathers turning out for the West African nation at international level. Lukaku had long hoped that they'd play together, so he was delighted in 2016 when Everton shelled out 25 million to bring the winger in from Crystal Palace. Lukaku began giving Bolasie a lift to training, and the pair quickly learned that they had a secret weapon on the field. Both had grown up speaking Lingala, an unofficial language of Congo, and they began using it on the field. Defenders couldn't understand what they were saying, and the structure of the language meant that they could express themselves quickly. And despite Bolasie making just 13 appearances before a knee injury ended his season, he laid on 4 assists for Lukaku in that time. Sadly, their friendly Twitter beef soon became a thing of the past when Lukaku made a 75 million switch to Manchester United, with Mohamed Besic taking over as Bolasie's chauffeur. 5. Mourinho and Materazzi. It's hard to imagine Jose Mourinho expressing human emotions, or really liking another person, but the Portuguese found a kindred spirit in Marco Materazzi. When Mourinho left Inter Milan in 2010, TV cameras caught the manager saying goodbye to one of his most trusted lieutenants, giving the enforcer a call me gesture before stopping his car to leap out and share one last tearful hug. And the two had done great things together. In Mourinho's 2 seasons with Milan, age and injury limited Materazzi to just 36 appearances in all competition, but he was almost an assistant coach to the special one, barking orders from the dugout. In 2009-10 season, the coach and the player guided the club to an unprecedented treble, and in an uncharacteristic show of affection, Mourinho brought Materazzi on in the 92nd minute of the Champions League final, with Inter leading Bayern 2-0, purely so the Italian could experience the club's greatest occasion. Hilariously, Materazzi said that his last words to his boss as Mourinho headed to Real Madrid were, "Damn you, you're leaving me with Benitez." No wonder why they bonded. 4. Muntari and Boateng. Despite spending 2 seasons as teammates at AC Milan and 4 years together in the Ghanaian national team, Sully Muntari and Kevin Prince Boateng only ever got on the field at the same time on 29 occasions. And you could be forgiven for thinking that they hate each other, after the pair was spotted in an argument outside a restaurant in Milan back in 2015, with spectators reporting that the men almost came to blows. However, it later turned out that the players had just enjoyed dinner together and were actually arguing about how to get home. But it wasn't the first time that they had got into trouble. A year earlier, both men were sent home early from the 2014 World Cup after Boateng took Muntari's side in a fight with the coaching staff, in the process ending his international career for his friend. The bromance remained strong though, with Boateng regularly returning to Italy to go shopping with his best friend. And in 2016, Muntari was one of the select band of guests at Boateng's wedding to Italian model and TV presenter Melissa Satter. 3. Aguero and Messi. This season, Lionel Messi's perfect partner has been Luis Suarez, with the GOAT assisting the Uruguayan 5 times in La Liga, while Suarez has assisted Messi 7 times, the most prolific combination in Europe's top 5 leagues. But Messi enjoys an even closer relationship with Sergio Aguero, despite their friendship getting off to a bad start. The two Argentinians met for the first time at a national team camp in 2005, when Aguero was the under-17s and Messi was the under-20s. Aguero sat down with his friend Ezekiel Guerrero at lunch and asked the boy next to him what his name was. The young superstar replied Lionel Messi, but Aguero still had no idea who he was, only learning later that the youngster was at Barcelona and primed for superstardom. However, Messi knew Aguero, as he remembered watching the striker making his debut for Independiente in 2003, when he became the youngest player ever in the Argentinian top flight at 15. The four was developed a close bond, and in 2014 the Argentinian squad room list for the World Cup revealed that the stars were sharing a hotel suite together. And even more strangely, when Aguero was born, his father had tried to name him Lionel, only to be told that he had to spell it Lionel and making it his son's middle name instead. It seems like the friendship was always destined to be. 2. Benteke and Hazard. Just a month separates Christian Benteke and Eden Hazard in age, and as a result they grew up playing together for Belgium national youth teams, first appearing for the under-17s. While Hazard was born in Belgium, Benteke was born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, then known as Zaire, but both had gone on to establish themselves as important contributors to the Red Devils, boasting of 114 international caps between them. The two attackers have never played together at club level, though Hazard tried to bring the target man to London in 2015, recommending that then Chelsea boss Jose Mourinho sign Benteke to give Chelsea another attacking dimension. The coach brought in Falcao instead, and Hazard and Benteke have been limited to 36 appearances side by side for Belgium, travelling to and from games together. After Benteke's disastrous spell at Liverpool, Hazard encouraged him to join Crystal Palace so they could see each other more often, and Benteke has since named the Chelsea winger as the best footballer he has ever played with. Somehow we doubt Hazard will return the compliment. 1. Ibrahimovic and Maxwell. Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Maxwell both joined Ajax in 2001 when they were both about to turn 20. Zlatan knew no one in Amsterdam at the time, so decided to befriend his fellow new recruit, and the pair have been inseparable for the last 17 years, almost literally. Of the 19 seasons Zlatan has played since meeting the left-back, 11 of them have been spent with the same team as the Brazilian. The duo have featured together for 4 different clubs: Ajax, Inter, Barcelona and PSG, and have won 10 titles, though Ibrahimovic missed out on the Champions League, which Maxwell lifted with Barcelona in 2011. And it's no wonder they remained friends, as within 2 weeks of meeting, Ibra was sleeping on the defender's floor in the Dutch capital, having spent all his money on a new Mercedes. Maxwell bought food for his new friend and gave him a lift to training until his wages came in, and a permanent friendship blossomed, with Zlatan talking almost as nicely about his colleague as he does about himself, saying, "Maxwell's the best guy in the world. I mean, if you want to think of a teddy bear, you have Maxwell." And strangely enough, the two are the most decorated players in football, with Ibra in second. Perhaps in this case, the Swede doesn't mind being runner-up.
So I hope you guys liked that video. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed that, why not check out the video on screen right now? I'm sure it is great. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.